So first of all, I just wanted to tell everybody that I'm not a nurse. I think I already said that, didn't I? Yeah, I'm not a nurse. I'm an NHS 111 worker. I took the frontline calls for London, and yeah, it was a tough job because we took all the frontline calls. We would hear some horrible things, suicidal calls, elderly people that had passed away in care homes, overdoses, heart attacks, strokes. So even though we wasn't the 999 service number and we're classed as a non-emergency number, we still took a lot of calls that weren't very nice. So I was very stressed in my job, very stressful job indeed, because you take call after call after call. Now I worked there for 2.5 years and it was relentless. You get off the phone to one call, you could have heard some horrible things, and then you take another call instantly. There's no gaps between the calls. It's very intense, and sometimes you'll hear something you don't like and you have to take a break. Yeah, it was stressful and it affected me mentally. It affects a lot of people mentally there. It can make you anxious. You can take your job home with you, especially if you're an empath like me, and things can play on your mind. So it did affect my mental health, and I probably should have left before the 2.5 years, because I did struggle with the job a lot. It's a lot to take on for somebody. But I always want to help people, so, and I was a single mother as well, and I felt like I had to stay in that job because I couldn't find anything else that fit around sort of school hours and stuff like that. Anyway, waffling again. So probably should have left anyway. I took a lot of sick for stress and stuff like that in that job, and that's why anybody that is a nurse, I think you're amazing, because you actually have to see dead people. I mean, I had to hear it. You actually have to see it and deal with people and see people passing away. So anyone who's a nurse, you are amazing, and yeah, I salute you. Oh God, I don't know what to say. So anyway, yeah, I worked there 2.5 years. It was relentless, call after call after call. And then it was COVID-19. Now, I've always been somebody that's suspicious of the government, the elites, the power. Ever since I was a little girl, I've never really trusted the narrative. Now, when COVID-19 started, initially I was shitting myself. I thought, oh my God, there's this virus, we're all gonna die. I was wearing, for the first week or two, I was wearing the blue gloves, you know, like the food gloves, so I didn't touch anything. I was sanitising my whole shopping when I came home. I wouldn't take my kids out anywhere. I was petrified. And then I started researching more and more, and I was like, hang on a minute, like, things just do not add up. And yeah, I started to become more relaxed. And at work I was thinking, so we've got this pandemic starting, but all we've got really is people ringing us up worried about it. There's nobody ringing us up with symptoms, and we're the London call centre, like we're the epicentre apparently in London. Why are people not ringing us every 10 minutes with continuous cough, high fever? Yeah, it just didn't add up. So yeah, it was mainly just people worried because the way the media portrayed it to be this deadly virus, and obviously we all saw people in China like dropping dead in the street and stuff. We all know that's bollocks now, don't we? But yeah, I was just, I don't know where all these people were. And then as time went on, when we were on lockdown and we was at the height of the pandemic, still, I weren't taking calls from people with a continuous cough and breathing problems. And then I started to get calls from people who had very clear-cut heart attack symptoms, very clear-cut stroke symptoms. These people were usually elderly. And I'd say, look, based on your symptoms, I would like to arrange an emergency ambulance for you. And they would say, well, I'm not going to hospital. I don't want to catch COVID-19. And I would have to persuade them to go to the hospital, and they would refuse the ambulances. And then what I would have to do is say, okay then, not send the ambulance, put that elderly person or that person who was very ill into a queue, where then they'd have to get a call from a clinician to persuade them to go to hospital. So this was delaying their treatment. So not only were we not getting loads of calls with COVID symptoms, when people actually have serious conditions that could cause them to pass away, they just weren't going to the hospital. And also there were gaps between calls. For the first times that I'd ever worked there were gaps. So what I mean by that is usually it was call after call after call. During the COVID season, I say season, you know, the height of COVID, we'd have a call and then we'd have minutes between calls, 5-6 minutes. You'd see the call handlers, and some of them had been sitting there for 6 or 7 minutes, still had not taken a call. People were colouring, eating, like, why are people not ringing us? I think they weren't ringing us because, number one, no one had the COVID symptoms. If they did, they were terrified. If anybody did have any problems, they were too terrified to ring us in case we sent them to hospital, because they were shit scared of catching COVID. So, and I know for a fact hospitals were empty. I had a couple of friends who were nurses. They told me the hospitals are empty. Yeah, we do have people in ICU or whatever, but the hospitals are empty. And I can 100% tell you, I know they were empty, because at 111, we send people to these hospitals in London. We weren't sending anyone. They were not at maximum capacity. I don't know about ICU, I don't know about the wards, but I can tell you, I was not sending people to the urgent care centre. I was not sending people to A&E. People would ring up with a cut finger. They'd slice half their finger off with a kitchen knife and it was bleeding badly and it needed treatment. They would refuse. I had people with heart attack symptoms. They would refuse to go to hospital. I had people with very clear-cut stroke symptoms, you know, like the droopy face, the arm, would not go to hospital. Parents ringing up with very, very sick children. Now, you have to be very careful with children. They deteriorate very quickly. Didn't want to go to hospital. They all wanted calls back from out-of-hours doctors. So the workload for the out-of-hours doctors was probably sky high. For all these callbacks they had to do, because nobody was using the other services. On a usual day in my job, I would be sending a lot of emergency ambulances, a lot of lower category ambulances to hospital. While working during the COVID outbreak, there were whole shifts where I did not send a single emergency ambulance because the patients were refusing. Now, as I said before, my job was really, really stressing me out. I found it mentally draining. It wasn't very good for me as an empath. It caused me a lot of anxiety and stuff anyway. Should have left, but I've soldiered on. And the day I put out the Certificate of Bollocks video, I was on my way to work and I just couldn't take it anymore. Like, it's a hard job. We were getting so many mental health calls and they really affected me. Like, it's not nice having calls from people that are threatening to kill themselves and you're on the line. It's horrible. I just thought, I can't take this anymore. The mental health calls seem to be going through the roof. And it's really sad. So I got in my car and my certificate was still in my bag. I'd had that for a few weeks. And I was just so fired up and I didn't want to go to work. Hated it anyway. I think COVID's a load of shit. Figures are inflated. Everyone's being lied to. Does COVID exist? I don't know. If it does, it's grossly exaggerated. And I just thought, do you know what? Fuck it. It's bollocks. I'm going to do this video. And I'd done it on a whim and I shared it on my Facebook wall and someone shared it and it just went viral. It just went mental. Did I expect it to go like that? No, not really. Maybe I was a bit naive. I can be a bit naive at times. Yeah, and it just went crazy. So work, 12 hours later, work got wind of it. My name was all over the media. The media are still trying to talk to me, but I'm avoiding them because I don't like the mainstream media, especially the BBC. The BBC are scummers. So yeah, but now I'm jobless. I'm a single mum, I have no job. They wanted to fire me for gross misconduct, but I didn't want to give them the power. So I've resigned from my job. It's a scary time ahead because probably for the foreseeable future I'm quite unemployable because I broke their confidentiality apparently. No, I was speaking from the heart, I was speaking my truth. I'm not medically trained, okay? I don't know all the facts and figures about COVID. I'm not going to blind you with science because I can't retain that that information. Most of my passion is with regards to taking down the elite paedophiles, the whole Save the Children movement. Save Our Children movement. That is more my thing, but it all ties in with the COVID thing. If you understand everything that's going on in the world and a new world order, you'll understand it's all under the same umbrella, it's all linked. So yeah, don't know all the facts and figures about COVID. I was speaking from the heart. I know my truth. I know what I experienced in that job, and I was just putting it out there. Now I'm unemployed. What have I got to lose? I am sorry for anybody that has passed away. But I wanted to put my truth out there. I want people to wake up and know that we are being lied to. We are being fed facts and figures that are absolute bullshit. So yeah, my heart's beating because I feel so passionate. I just want people to wake up, and because I've got nothing to lose anymore, I'm jobless. My friends and family don't want to know me because they think I'm a lunatic conspiracy theory, especially after the stuff that's been put in the media. I've got nothing to lose. Yeah, rock bottom. The only way is up. So I thought I'd do a little song for you, which I picked up. Oh, I've heard the song before, but I picked it up at the Trafalgar Square March. So as soon as I've got nothing to lose, why don't I just go for it? I'm going to sing you a little song, okay? We are the 99%, singing we are the 99%, singing we are the 90, we are the 90, we are the 99%. You can stick your new world order up your ass, you can stick your new world order up your ass, you can stick your new world order, stick your new world order, stick your new world order up your ass. I've got a new verse. You can stick your mainstream media up your ass. You can stick your mainstream media up your ass. You can stick your mainstream media. Stick your mainstream media. Stick your mainstream media up your ass. And yes, my certificate was bollocks because I felt like I did fuck all, okay? I love you all. Bye.